What's going on, beautiful people? And welcome back to another comic book review video. I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to this channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so that you will never miss out on an upload, and that you will always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. And today, folks, we are back at it with Marvel's hammerless God of Thunder, Thor, issue number 18, written by Marvel's golden boy Donny Cates. And guys, if you haven't been keeping up with this comic, then definitely check out the playlist within this video's description. It will help catch everyone up with what's been happening. Now, after the events of Revelations, Thor has a top secret mission that only one trusted ally can carry out. That being, of course, Throg, the Throg of Thunder. Thus, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Alrighty folks, so our story picks up with Thor telling Loki about what the people think about him. You know, what is the consensus of Thor's reign? And they have been disappointed to say the least, giving Thor's reign the moniker of the Black Reign of the Thunder King, for they basically see Thor as unworthy and unwell, unfit to lead. In addition, he also tells Loki that Mjolnir has been stolen, and he doesn't know why, or by who, or by what. And even Lady Sif, with her internal gaze, cannot find it. Thor knows that he cannot let this information get out, because if it would, then the realm would see him as a weak loser. Therefore, Thor is asking if Loki will help him find the hammer. But unfortunately, folks, Loki declines the offer, since once again, he is asking too much of him. Plus, given the last time he did so, he was almost broken in two by Donald Blake. Thus, his days of favors have run dry. But Thor pleads with him, knowing he's the only one who he can trust. But Loki knows that there was a time when he longed to hear those words. But that was a long time ago. Plus, Loki knows Thor's probably talking out of his ass. But Thor continues to plead, knowing he's the only one who he can trust. Because Loki knows that his brother has scores of allies to trust. People such as Captain America, Lady Sif, heck, even Thor. And sure, Loki knows that Thor needs a spy for this certain mission, which Loki's pretty good at being with his transformation powers. However, he's out of that game, since his priorities lie with the kingdom of Jotunheim. So yeah, there's that. However, Loki begins plotting, and eventually he comes with an idea. For Loki figures out as to who exactly Thor will need for this certain task. The task in finding Mjolnir. Thus, this is where we change settings over to the Foreverglades in Florida, aka the Foreverglades Kingdom, where the frogs and bugs have gathered around as Throg returns home. Now in his return, he thanks his friends for being there, whilst providing them with a story about his majestic journey, involving him and King Lockjaw fighting against the evil Asgardian Donald Blake, as he proclaims to his audience that he is the one who had beaten Blake. Eventually Thor arrives, hoping that he's not interrupting the mighty Throg's tale, but obviously he is. Later in Throg's treehouse, Thor tries to ask his amphibian companion for help, while swatting away flies from his face. Throg, using his dope skills, snaps up the flies with his tongue and eats them all, whilst revealing that he knows that Mjolnir has been stolen, and that Thor needs him to find it. Thor asks him how is it possible that he knows this, but Throg callously says that he just knows everything, by slamming his drink on the table, announcing that he'll need a team in order to reclaim his hammer. Throg says that he wants unfettered access to the 10 realms, therefore he recruits Thor's 2 ravens. Next, Throg knows that he'll need a tracker, and so he approaches his old friend Lockjaw, telling him an adventure that awaits. With access and tracking secured, Throg travels to the Marauder ship, where he recruits the forward scout, Lockheed the Blackened, knowing that having a dragon is a pretty good idea. And then for the final recruit, he heads over to New York, fearing that this hammer business is somewhat mystical. Therefore, he knocks on the door of the Sanctum Sanctorum, to which Doctor Strange answers the door, wondering if Throg is having trouble with something. But the hero tells the good doctor that he is not here for Steven, rather he's here for Bats, the ghost dog. Now Thor can see that Throg has thought this through, thus giving the frog hero his blessing with assembling this mighty team. but Throg reveals that he actually already assembled his team 4 days prior, and he tells Thor that though the team may consist of spies, at the end of the day, when the team is assembled, they are Avengers, aka they are the Pet Avengers. And that, folks, was Thor issue number 18. And between the cover, the solicitations, and the title page, the fact that this issue revolves around Throg is the opposite of a surprise, which does lead to one little shortcoming, that being the awareness of the imminent arrival of the Thunder Frog, because it damages the tension of the first scene. For Mjolnir has been stolen, and so Thor is taking this wise but uncharacteristic step of asking for help. And in that first scene, he taps Loki, who turns him down flat. But his brother has a good idea for an alternate hunter. Yep, you guessed it, that being Throg. So that part was a little spoiled, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world, but something to keep in mind. And so the remaining balance of this book becomes a classic getting the team together sequence. And here's where I reverse direction and start clamming up about spoilers. Throg's team are a nice mix of the obvious and the surprising, and the results are terrific. The new team takes on a familiar name, one that I think 90% of comic readers of today will be surprised with and will be thrilled to see in a top-shelf Marvel book. So yeah, Thor issue number 18 is effectively a prologue that persuasively promises a grand and hilarious adventure to come. And despite not being surprised with seeing Throg, I did overall have a blast reading it, but I recognize that it's only setting up the stage for an even greater fun for the future. Also, the comic zips past in a blink of an eye. Of course, when it comes to pacing a comic, over too quick is way better than wearing out its welcome, but neither extreme quite nails the bullseye of satisfaction. Future solicitations show that the next couple of issues of the series will be Thor focused, so I'm not sure when we'll get the next chapter in the saga of Throg, but after this start, you can definitely bet that I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, because this was awesome. Donny Cates hits all the right notes in both narration and dialogue, capturing a nice range in his characters' voices, and he strikes a good balance between the mythic epicness appropriate to Thor and the more absurd tone that Throg brings with him. He makes everything sound serious and silly, which is exactly what the story needs. It needs some fun. And on the art front, Bob Quinn handles Throg and the team collection scenes, whilst Pasqual Ferry provides the initial Loki scene. The two artists make a great match, reaching equal levels of quality and providing two distinct looks that still complement each other nicely. Expert colorist Matt Wilson contributes significantly to the visual harmony, providing a consistent palette throughout the book. The colors are diverse to reflect a range of setting both warm and cold, but they are always handled in the same skillful way, relying on subtle modulations and contrasts to bring the scenes to life. As is appropriate for the subject matter, the Throg scenes are the most visually memorable in the book, and Mr. Quinn brings a delightful cartoonish take to the Thunder Throg. Throg is shockingly expressive, drawn as though he's fully aware of his spotlight role as a guest star. The panels that put Throg and Thor together really show the artistic skill through giving the Allfather a little more realism than the Frog without introducing any disservice. Thor issue number 18 is a fast and fiercely funny introduction that sells the reader to the idea of a Throg-led team mystery in Who Stole the Hammer. The words balance perfectly between serious and silly, particularly on Throg himself. Legit, he's a talking frog, but he honestly believes in his heroism, and so the creators honor the character's sincerity without ignoring his inherent absurdity. The results are both hilarious and heartwarming, and they promise lots more fun when the title gets back to the Thunder Throg. Therefore, I cannot wait for more Throg. And yeah, overall, I had fun with this issue. Thus, Thor issue number 18 gets an 8.5 out of 10. And guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button in order to show your support to the channel. And tell me guys, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 19? Do you guys want a separate spin-off book featuring Throg leading the Pet Avengers? Let me know in the comment section below. And until next video, peace.